Welcome to HS Game Time in our luxurious studios high atop the Press Enterprise in downtown Riverside for another edition of By the Numbers with Eric Paul Johnson. EPJ, let's start with last week's question. We're talking about state champions in wrestling. We had a couple this past weekend up in Bakersfield, which is great, but maybe not as dominant as a wrestler in the early 90s from this area.
Yeah, we've had one wrestler in inland area history win 3 state championships, and that was Rim of the World Scott Chapman. He won the 140-pound title in 1991, and then he won the 152-pound titles in 92 and 93. We've had a couple other double champions, but Scotty Chapman right now, the bar in inland wrestling with 3 state championships.
All right, so Rim Scotty Chapman obviously dominant in the early 90s, but take nothing away from Bloomington's Derek Jones at 220 and Santiago's Christian Pagdalao at 145. And let's go back to Derek Jones and the way he won his championship match Saturday night in well, he wasted no time to get right down to it.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, you've probably seen a lot of these state wrestling championships. Pinfall,
but not that.
Yeah, but pinfall's very rare in state title matches. I went back to the last 11 years, 154 championship matches, only 20 pinfalls, so only 13% of the time do you see it. There were 3 this year, but Derek Jones wowing the crowd, you know, in just marvelous fashion, 47 seconds pinning his opponent from Wasco in that title. So also looking back since 2003, the fastest pinfall victory in a state championship match. The previous fastest was 1 minute and 17 seconds back in 2005. So an impressive victory by Mr. Jones, who's only a junior.
That's a scary thought. He will be back. You can guarantee that. All right, now let's go to boys basketball. So while the state's top wrestlers were up in Bakersfield competing for state championships, in Anaheim, the boys basketball teams were playing for CIF titles. North getting it done in Division II AA. And when you rewind the numbers a little bit, it was a 1-point game, and we found out maybe it could have been a tie game in the end. Yeah, you know, kind of looked through the history of inland basketball championships. It's the 6th time we've had a championship game involving the local team settled by 1 point, the first since, I believe, 2002 when Redondo stunned King on a last-second basket. But, yeah, we went through. Jim Alexander and I both at courtside after the first quarter looked up at the scoreboard and saw North had 12 points. We both had 11 in our scorebook. And a couple other reporters had mentioned the same thing afterwards. And yes, we later found out that the official scorekeeper at the game did credit North with a made free throw on, in fact, DJ Richardson had missed that free throw. It didn't look like it was going to matter for a while. You know, North was up by as many as 17 in the second half, 13 going into the fourth quarter, and the Villa Park made this great comeback. Got it to 1 point, even with the chance to win with possession with 2.9 seconds left before Deshaun Taylor stole the ball. And this was confirmed by video, right? Someone went back and actually looked at those free throws by DJ Richardson, and he did not make. He was 0 for 2.
Right. I mean, what happened was the Villa Park's own scorekeeper, they were shocked about this. They had no idea.
Well, I remember you asked the coach in the press conference, hey, did you guys see it? And he was completely oblivious to it.
And they went back and looked in their book, and their own scorekeeper had it as a made free throw. But when they looked back on film later that night, indeed, that free throw had been missed. Villa Park, very classy. You know, they could be complaining, trying to, you know, contest this, but they basically sent a letter to CIF saying, we accept the outcome. It was an unfortunate error on the scorekeeping end, but Coach Kevin Reynolds basically said it happened so early in the game, you can't say that's the difference, that 1 point's the difference. He said, we could have made more free throws, turned the ball over less to win that game. North deserved to win that game. They won the game. So even if they did want to contest it, CIF rules basically say Villa Park would have had to have caught the error at the time, disputed it then, and got it solved then. So once we went to the next play, and especially after the game's over, that result will stand as a 59-58 victory for North. So North is your CIF Division II AA champion. All right, your question for this week, going back to wrestling. We had 2 winners this year, a great season overall for wrestling in our area. We had 2 state champions, which leads us into this question about multiple champs, right? Yeah, in the past, you know, you look in more recent years, we've been able to pull away with 1 champion. Obviously, a lot of the Central California teams dominate this, but the 2 championships won by Derek Jones and Christian Pagdalao, kind of a somewhat rare feat. So the question this week is, what was the last season or what year did the inland area have 2 state champions? And, of course, I guess the added bonus on this is, can you name those 2 wrestlers? Those 2 wrestlers as well. Was it one of the Scotty Chapman years? No. No. A little more recent than that. And it wasn't Toby Gerhardt either. We can confirm that.
All right, that is EPJ. I am Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next time on By the Numbers.